Okay.
You go. Okay.
Okay.
Now it says it. Yep.
Boy. Anyway, it's a different Thursday. Um, the we because at the kind of last week or last at the beginning of this month, the person who was scheduled was letting me know something had conflict came up. So um so I thought instead of trying to juggle other people that Ju um Judy and I had been talking about really promoting the journaling stuff. And so she gladly has been with her programs coming in. I wanted to just let everyone know that this is something I'm looking to see more support with how to integrate journaling with graphology because the issues graphologists are having today in the post-industrial time is that everybody's on the computer, you know.
Mhm.
And so trying to have a way to really support lifelong pen to paper processing, and there's like a lot of support in the research for that. So we're just exploring, and anyone interested, kind of get in touch with me or Judy about um, your interest in the journaling, or if you have like kind of background related to that, because I know it's being used in counseling and therapy, and there's different kinds of applications to journaling. And anyway, this is why I'm excited to have Judy show us some of the ways that she's using journaling in her practice of graphology. So I'll let let you take it away, Judy.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, journaling is such a natural because it's handwriting. So let me just start my PowerPoint and
Yeah.
then once I'm done jammering with that, then we'll talk. Here it is. Okay. So can everybody see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let me get it started. Here we are. Okay. So, you can interrupt me while I'm talking, but this is not going to be this is just 15 minutes, and then I want to open to discussion because you'll have a lot of ideas and questions, and that's great. So this is what I've been putting together, and I call it journaling options for graphologists, and I'm sure there are more, but this is what I've been doing. So the first
The
thing
first thing.
is journaling and analysis. And that's for graphologists with graphologists. And then I've been doing journaling with graphology guidance, or you could call it journaling with benefits. And this is something we can market to the general public in different ways and produce income. So I'm going to get into both. First, I'm going to talk about journaling and analysis, and this is very easy for us to understand. So when we're on a Zoom, I show a page like this, and anybody can do that. And I just tell people this is a quick look and reaction. People haven't seen this writing before. It's not a thorough examination, and it's okay to change your mind during the discussions. Discussion opens our minds. But this is our first look at this handwriting, and I ask people journal your answers to each question, and I give them 4 minutes. I was giving 5 minutes, but I'm going to start with four because journalists are usually fast thinkers. Um, and the first question is list the comforts and strengths and discomforts and difficulties you see or feel in their writing. And boom, graphologists just start writing. And that's great. And then I tell them to stop. And usually they don't want to. Sometimes it's okay. And then I tell them, I ask them, how does this person feel inside and how do they want others to see them? And they have their 4 minutes and they write. And then I ask, what would you like what would you like or dislike about this person as a coworker or friend? And that gives them a different angle to look at. And they write and write and write. And then I ask, what do you want this person to understand about themselves to make their life better? And having gone through all the first three questions, that's that pulls everything together for an analysis. After we're done with the four journaling questions, each person, if they want to, nobody's obligated, shares their journaled answers. Being graphologists, almost everybody takes part. In my sessions, everybody has taken part. And we answer one question at a time. We don't try to answer all the questions at once. And by the time we get to question four, what do you want this person to understand? Then we have a different, we have a central point of starting our analysis in our own minds. But this is what I show. And when I'm asking them about the questions and journaling, I put as big a version on the screen. But this way they're able to see how the person uses the page. And I give a little information there. This person's age is 35. They have heavy pressure and they're a pediatric cardiac ICU nurse. This is the person we used this week. And here it's a bigger version of their writing. So what are the advantages? And so far I've only done this on Zoom, and I think that's how I'm going to be doing this because I don't live around graphologists to do this with. So the advantages are, of course, because you're handwriting, you're thinking with a broad amount of the brain. And then having it written, everyone's ideas are already written, so it's easier to share them. And then their notes are already written down. And as people share and discuss and ask why, you adjust your own ideas more accurately. Of course, you get that from sharing. And after the fourth question, you know how to center your analysis of the person if you're going to be writing one up. Okay, so that's how journaling and analysis works, and I think you all understand that. And we'll be doing more of those starting in September for anybody who wants to participate. So what are journaling benefits in general? And this leads into the next thing when we bring it out to the general population. So journaling in general helps a person bring clarity to their jumbled emotions and thoughts. And I found this graphic. It says it makes people happier and bringing clarity to people's jumbled feelings and thoughts does make people happy. It really does. And I threw this one in promotes creativity. Okay. And also using all the parts of the brain to find their chosen solution. That's where the creativity comes in. And for other things they want to write, of course. And overall, Journaling reduces anxiety and depression in all ages, which brings out these other things for all ages, lowers blood pressure, less stress, improved immune system, and I added, well, better memory, and I added stimulates decision making because it does. It stimulates the frontal cortex of the brain, and which is part of decision making and other areas too. And in doing that, it reveals solutions to each person's current needs and creates strong new neural connections in the brain, all grouped together and ready to begin ideas, plans, and goals. And this is what really excites me is neural connections, as you'll see in the next few slides. So handwriting and journaling actively connect neurons. And I think that's just cool. But I think it's also important for us to understand. So it combines the benefits. Everything we do is in our neurons. Our neurons are making everything happen. And we're combining the benefits of handwriting with its direct connection to the brain's physical control neurons that we're using when we make our hand write, and many other things in the body, plus the benefits of expressive writing that you get with journaling that connects directly to the brain's thinking area neurons, which come from all the parts of the brain. So you're physically and emotionally working together, and they both tap into the central nervous system, which is the central source of all we think and feel and do. And this is the really cool part. Everything in the central nervous system is literally connected. So, how connected is our mind to our physical body? Well, everything here is the nervous system. The entire body functions from the nervous system. And we all know from biology in school that the nervous system, these are each neurons, and at the end of each in the ends of each end of the neuron are all these dendrites that stick out, and the dendrites connect to the other dendrites in the other nerves through the synapses. It all boils down to the synapses and how many synapse connections each neuron has. Now, each neuron you see in this picture can be connected to multiple other neurons. But here the picture only shows three. You'll see from my calculations that there are at least an average of 500 synapse connections in every neuron, which just blows my mind. So I found these numbers yesterday. 86 billion neurons in the brain, 200 million neurons in the spinal cord, and 100 billion nerve fibers, which are just like tiny neurons throughout the peripheral nervous system, which goes through the body's organs, the arms, and the legs. There's 100, so I took 100 trillion, which is how many synapses are connecting those neurons. 100 trillion's a big number. And I divided it by 200 billion, roughly adding the number of neurons in the body. and it comes to 500 synapse connections for every neuron. Now, don't hold me to that scientifically. This is just a way of thinking about it, but the amount of neuron connections each neuron has is enormous. And each neuron is part of coordinating muscle movement, visual accuracy of the letters, words to express ideas, reaching into memories, while also accessing feelings and senses in those memories and coordinating every organ's functioning in the body. And if you follow each of these 500 synapse connections, you're going to see that somewhere along the way, everything in the mind is connected to everything in the body. And that's what just is so cool to me.
Judy, may I ask a really dumb question?
Yeah.
You're describing this. Is this something you could touch? Is this something that has to be under a microscope, like a grain of
Oh,
sand?
yes. Oh, they're tiny. If uh, you have 800 billion neurons in your brain. Now that's more, I mean, can you have that many, dots of writing in your brain? They're minuscule, minuscule. I don't know. Yes, you need a microscope. If
Thank you.
there's one, yes. Okay. So imagine how many neurons are communicating with each other during every millisecond of your day. So we're just so totally connected, body and mind, which is what is my real point. So everything inside of us, the mind and the functioning of organs and the use of muscles, is interconnected by our neurons all the time. And here's the real point. When the mind is anxious or depressed, the whole body reacts badly. And we know that from scientific studies. And we're going to use that. I'm going to talk about that. So here's my focus on handwriting analysts promoting journaling, which expresses ideas in the mind, with graphology guidance. It's such a natural. So if we were to, I'm have pictures of two old people here who are, let's say, living in a senior residence. And those places offer programs to their people every day of the week and sometimes every hour of the day. And this can be promoted for a fee to offer to residents in a place like that, or in a community center, or in a library, or in an after-school program to young people. It could be offered anywhere there's a group of people who would attend. And you can promote this and then ask for a fee as a joyful, heartfelt, supportive group experience tailor-made for your population. And you can say 20% of elderly. And this really holds for a population across, for all ages. 20% of people suffer from anxiety or depression. This disrupts the heart, the immune system, sleep, and even increases loneliness. And that's just physical symptoms. Journaling eases this by helping the person identify, well, I can say, I should have added, journaling eases this by easing anxiety and depression. And that helps the person.
Takes Paul
Um,
and rescues him from their midst and takes him into the fortress, the Roman fortress. And the following night, the Lord stood by him and said, "Take courage."
is someone talking? Yeah. Okay. Yes. I didn't hear everything that person said, but I'll read what's here, and then when we're all talking together, I hope you repeat that. So journaling eases uh, anxiety and depression by helping the person identify, process, and ease anxious feelings, turn mind clutter into clear thinking, find their own solutions, or even by creating stories and writing memoirs to pass along, and then share what they've written in a supportive and social experience. The health benefits they gain is it improves heart health, it boosts their immune system, it stabilizes blood sugar, it relieves chronic physical tension, it lowers inflammation throughout the body, and significantly improves sleep quality and energy levels. And additional journaling benefits for the elderly, it improves memory, thought clarity improves, emotional processing and regulation improves, sociability improves, reducing loneliness. And these are all can be found as the results of scientific studies. And I have those studies. So if, let's say, because you can do this with any age group, you want to do it with age 65 and over, which is a very receptive group for this. You can use these questions for their journaling. You can use any questions, but these are just suggestions. What has been troubling me lately? What is it I wish I could do? And these would be done at different times, obviously, not in a row. If I could have the perfect day, what would it be? What meaningful life lessons would I share with my younger self? What small moments of joy light up my daily life? What story do I want my family to know about me? What's most important to me at this time in my life? And you can see that that would provoke wonderful answers from people 65 and above. Okay. So if you were to do this, if you were to lead a group like this, and I hope all of you do, how often would you offer it? It could be weekly, it could be monthly. How long would your sessions be? It's up to you. You could offer 60, 90, 120 minutes. How much cost? Well, you could charge per session. You could charge per series of uh, 10 sessions in a row, or you could charge per person that attends. How many in a group? I would say for a group like this, because you're going to share, it would be 12 maximum. You probably wouldn't get more than that, so you might not have to say at all. Journals, are you going to provide them, like writing pads, or are they going to bring their own journals? Either way is fine. How long to write? I suggest 20 minutes of actual writing. And you can decide, is it going to be one topic for everyone, which makes it more of a cohesive discussion? Are you going to ask one question or more? Or you could offer a different topic, and people can have a choice of topics at each session. Uh, you can have printed questions for them to choose. You can have, you would have them writing and then share what they wrote if they're comfortable sharing. Nobody has to share. And then discussion with graphology guidance comments that you can offer as you walk around and look at their handwriting. And that's the beauty that you offer as a professional. And you would make that clear to anybody you're asking for payment. And then, of course, you let the group share their thoughts and be social so they feel good at the end. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And you can do this on Zoom. You can do this in person. So just some groups specialize. They specialize in expressive journaling or gratitude journaling or reflective journaling or bullet journaling for an organization, goal or productivity journaling, stream of consciousness journaling, travel journaling, dream journaling, health and wellness journaling, unsent letter journaling. So you can use all those. You can use one each time, or you can have really targeted journaling groups. So tomorrow, this is these are questions I use in one group. What's draining my energy? What's giving me energy? What things do I want more energy for? And for the next month, where do I want to focus a lot of energy? And I'm doing a group tomorrow of people who are pickleball players. And so I decided on these questions for tomorrow. What's been taking the most mental energy from me lately? What would I rather put my thoughts and actions on? And what is it stopping me from doing that? And how can I reduce that problem and start what I really want to do? So really, journaling with graphology guidance is valuable. Promote it and spread your unique insights to improve other people's lives. And that's my message.
Very good, Judy.
Yeah,
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 thanks.
very good. Yes, indeed.
Thanks.
Mm.
So, this is discussion time. This is all of us. Uh, oh, thank you so many people for being
You,
here. And I know, I
you
think
said
it
you
was,
just picked up some of this information, Judy.
Yes.
Is
Mhm.
this based on any chance on Audrey Van Beer, the Norwegian neurologist who's a neuroscientist who's recently published things? You've seen that, haven't you?
I have not seen that.
I will send that out. My
Okay,
reporter friends here just
okay.
sent out. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's so much research going on these days. I was going to um respond to like that neurology stuff can get really complicated. So
Hmm.
I talk about it like this when I was talking to my brother last week and I summarized it that the back of the brain, the emotional brain, that's about dynamic memory, like riding a bicycle, all of the stuff related to movement. And the
Hmm.
front of the brain, the cerebral cortex, is about, I describe it as narrative memory. It's all of that cognition. It's the thinking part. See,
Hmm.
so there's really that communication going on relates to those emotional nonverbal memories getting some way to get connected with your, the thoughtful processing. And that's what's so powerful about getting that whole brain engaged by that activity of the what you're doing with the handwriting, because you're working with the narration of that's what you're narrating, and you're using that part of your brain with that movement to make it recall and to get the emotions activated that help you make it kind of integrate all of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's the way I put it all together.
Yeah. It's all related, but what
Powerful.
I didn't realize is how it was related to our heartbeat.
Ah, yes.
And how is it related to our stomach digestion and our sleep functioning and just
Yeah.
everything our body does is affected by every other thing our body
Yeah.
does
It's
because those neurons, oh my God, when I saw 500 synapses that are connected on every neuron,
yeah.
on these billions of neurons inside of us, I'm like, how the I know the body's an incredible,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just incredible, but how incredible is that?
Yeah, that's
Ju-
that endocrine system and all of those. Yeah, the stomach is involved, the heart.
The
What
heart.
I find interesting is people with neuropathy or anything that with the nervous system, MS or fibromyalgia, look at how much it's affecting them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Judy, how many of these sessions have you already done?
Which ones? Um,
Um, Working with groups.
okay, so I've done, I think, two uh, journaling and analysis sessions, and I've done two graphology with journaling with graphology guidance. I have trouble saying
Yeah.
that. But
Right.
but now I've put out a notice, and like a neighbor wants to bring her pickleball and they all want it. But some of them are going on vacation and they wanted me if
Oh,
I could do it again. And then one woman in this pickleball group, she can't come, but her husband wants to know if he could come in her place. I mean, it's just a shock to me, but
yeah.
people are very willing. If you say, "Well, I'm going to do handwriting analysis," I don't think anyone it's not as appealing. Journaling has an appeal, and you can
Mhm.
make journaling, you can offer any kind of journaling you want. You could say, we're going to find out how to tap into our best energy. You can say anything and then provide questions, and then what the person needs to respond to those questions is going to be the answers they need. So everybody goes away feeling good. And
Yeah.
especially sharing their answers, they give each other support.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
Now,
just,
Judy, with your pickleball session, what question might you have them write on?
well, I'm going to ask them, um, I want not to focus on something well, I'm going to ask them what mental activity. Wait, how did I phrase it? If it's not written down, I don't remember a thing. What has been on your mind lately that's bothering you? It's a
Yeah.
question, something like that,
Good.
but better
Yeah,
worded.
that's good. Very good,
And
Judy.
yeah, and then they're gonna, whatever it is, or what's been taking over your mind that you you don't want there? Or what do you
Yeah.
feel you're obsessing about? You can ask it in any way you want, or what's troubling you lately? And
Good.
that can be from any area of their life.
Judy,
Right.
could you,
And
go ahead.
yeah, go ahead, Ruth.
Could you tell me if pickleballing, I know somebody 94 years old, and she has people come in to knit with her. And she found I was a hopeless person for knitting, but she gets
Okay.
people together. If somebody is knitting, would that have the same effect as writing?
No, because you're not involving your thoughts.
Right.
You're not bringing up the thoughts you're going to be considering when you're journaling.
Knit one, purl two doesn't work.
It's a
No.
it's a
Just asking.
comforting.
I
It's
failed their class.
it it has a lot of value to it
Yeah, it
to the
does.
person,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as journaling to find a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm.
Very good.
Judy, I can see this as applying to all kinds of age groups
Mhm.
or kind of
Mhm.
subgroups with
Yeah.
different application or different emphasis. And this is perfect timing. I was asked to play a piano recital next month for a retirement community. The director I'm working with has loaned out her very fine grand piano to the facility, and I know one other person who lives there. And this whole discussion that you're talking about, the what you've all mentioned today, I could see that applying, because I'd offered to do a little talk about general things about graphology to them, and she wanted some particulars. But this I can refine as a more of a group activity, which would suit them. There's nothing like it.
You can ask them um, how they felt about the music and have them each write one or two sentences, and you can just
Yeah.
offer them some graphology guidance based on those one or two sentences. Just when I say graphology guidance, I say one, one comment, or, you can say, oh, I see you really enjoy activities with other people. I mean, you could say anything that you'll see right away. And then the person will just feel good.
Yeah, it validates things that they're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we can save the world.
Yeah, and you can say, and you can mention, that's a handwriting analysis thing, just to make them have heard the word handwriting analysis and have a good feeling about that, which is what we need to promote in the world also, because that's missing from out there.
Yeah, that type of a group is to introduce the
Hmm.
how handwriting analysis can be helpful. And it's a natural because they
Hmm.
can see the things in their own handwriting. And it's easier, this is what I like about it. It's easier than saying, okay, I'm going to analyze your handwriting, now write something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there's tension in that,
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is a perfect thing for kids. Kids
See.
kids feel so much stress. I'm talking 10-year-olds.
Mm.
And and they're not given the chance to express themselves and to practice handwriting. And if you just say to them, write 3 sentences about how you felt about your day today,
Mm.
or what happened to you today,
Mm.
or anything. That would improve their handwriting. It would improve their thought process. It would cement something in their memory together. It would process bring
Mhm.
clarity to how they felt about something that happened that day.
Does
It
it
would
have
do
to
so
be
much.
writing or could it be a drawing?
Well, it could,
Draw,
it could,
Drawing doesn't always
yeah.
put words to things.
Mhm.
Drawing has a lot of benefits, but not the same because it doesn't put words to feelings. And words are very important for processing feelings.
We have had a couple of terrible incidents where the students have drawn killing somebody, blood. I had a girl who drew a picture of herself with her head cut off beside her in a, a kneeling position. And I mean, they went out, one person went out and killed 4 students. So drawings are telling you something.
Drawings tell you something, and if they won't write, have them draw. I mean, to me, they both have tremendous benefits. They're just a little different, but drawing is as expressive. Does it help process the feelings as well? Because it doesn't identify a word for the person who did it. If they have a word, I'm angry, I'm mad at this person. If they can identify what it is they're feeling, then it can be worked with effectively. The drawing is showing anger and fear and all that, but have they fully identified where it comes from? It's
That's where
not
I think
fun.
that's where I think we could have a discussion with the individual and say, why did you have your head chopped off? Or was it a bad dream? Or just any, and then the pressure shows how much anger they're holding in.
Mhm.
And sometimes the light pressure people want to be appreciated and acknowledged, and maybe they're not getting that. So it does say a lot more if we know that they're going to draw and then just kind of apply all the handwriting things to the drawing as much as you can so that they can give you feedback.
Right. And if you do talk to them about the drawing, they are applying words to it, which
Yeah.
gets that benefit. But handwriting physically is a release of your tightly held in emotions, which is just helpful
You
for them to get their ideas flowing.
you could
Mhm.
encourage them to write about their feelings instead
And
of,
about the drawing.
yeah, about that comes from the drawing. I mean, like if
Right.
wanting to draw, that's the thing about the pen to paper stuff is that it can be drawing, it can be doodling, and then that can there's like this one person that was recommending to start out with like a little graphotherapy activity to
Mhm.
Mhm.
to relieve tension. So
I believe we should
combine all,
promote those
yeah,
designs and stuff for graphotherapy. And if someone can't write, just say to them, well, do a flowing line across the page. And when you start feeling like writing some words, just
right.
start
It can
writing them.
exactly. It can kind of so
Mhm,
it all can be brought together.
mhm,
And that's what the graphology guidance is.
mhm.
How to support the person integrating, the feelings that they haven't been able to verbalize, or the words they're saying that haven't connected with their feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have to tell them what we're doing. We just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only
And we have so much that we see, and we can say, "Oh, I see you're feeling that so strongly, and it's bothering you so much. Can you write about that a little bit? I really want to know what you're feeling." You know, just
I've been a big drawing person for a long, long time. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I have learned over the years is that no matter what their age, it started out where I would only ask children, but we are not Rembrandts, you know. we make mistakes as we draw. There, little nuances and stuff. So I always, no matter what the age, ask them to explain what they've drawn. And sometimes having to force that conversation, even if you do it in that journal, helps to verbalize what pain you have, where it's coming from, because I may ask them to draw me a tree, but it's really shady on this side, and this side has, all kind of other indicators. Tell me what you see in this picture. Why did you put that in there? And that actually helps. You should always, when you're doing children's drawings, always ask the child to explain it, because they don't have the dexterity to be able to draw a lot of the things that they wanted to put in it. And sometimes that can be very frustrating for them. So I found that, I have to ask children, but I recommend that you ask everybody. It just helps to complete that story.
And drawing is a good way to start with people who are not natural writers,
Right. Right.
I
And
was gonna, oh, sorry. I was wondering if Lawrence you said that Lawrence, that you were running groups that weren't graphology groups, but they were with hand
journaling.
groups or?
Yeah, writing workshops, in fact, and especially this year, I started some writing workshops about the family tree. And yes, so it's very interesting too. Yes.
So you're like using kind of prompts, like
Yes, exactly.
different.
Prompts, and then people write for 20 minutes, and then they read what they wrote, and then we go to another one, or we discuss a little bit of what has been written and so on. But I don't use graphology for with groups, which could be very interesting. I mean, so maybe I should add this. The difficulty is that it's on Zoom, it's not in person, so it's more difficult to see the handwriting, but we could, arrange this.
We tried that,
Yes,
Laurence and
yes,
I, to tell them about that.
yes. So you had a device to get an iPad or something like that to get the
Yeah.
things. So we sent the handwriting, the picture, a picture or a scan of the handwriting, and then
So we had everyone take a picture, just a
yes,
photo on their phone of their handwritten answers. And so, and then they emailed it to me and to Laurence. And she didn't have this, but I had just gotten this, a tablet.
Ah, yes.
And so I got it purposely for this. And so I could see my email and open up the handwriting they sent me right then and there I was thinking, oh, I have to shut down the Zoom for a half hour and all that. But I was able to do it without doing that. And and I was able to see the handwriting while they were sharing what they read,
Wow.
what they wrote.
Yeah.
They shared what they wrote, and I could see the handwriting at the same time. And it only took about 5, maybe 10 minutes for that transfer to happen. Of course, somebody's always going to have a problem with their phone or something.
Right.
But for the first time trying it, it worked. It
That's
worked pretty well.
yes,
And of course, then they send the picture, it's sideways, and but all that can work out, and you're not analyzing the whole thing. You're just looking, at the spacing, the tightness, the size. Is it squished? Is it, you get a sense of what that person's feeling inside.
it really was very interesting.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It just adds a dimension that we can do. Other people can't do that, but we can. So it's something to market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, Kevin, I don't know you, but you were making a comment before and I didn't hear it. Kevin, you're on mute.
No, I don't think that was me, actually. It
Oh,
might have been someone else.
oh, okay.
Mm.
So,
Something I like about the journaling is that it already is being applied in so many different ways already. Like with the education, or reading a book, or gathering information from a reading or a research, and the handwriting journaling is coming back because people are starting to realize, the educators are learning that when you're doing research, you remember more when you
Yeah.
write it down than when you type it into the computer. Oh,
and there are many medical studies coming out,
yeah.
promoting journaling
Mhm.
and journaling by hand. And they're written specifically for people who are in the first stages of dementia, where
Yeah.
they're using handwriting, and it's at
Mm.
least slowing it down, but it's bringing clarity of mind to people who are literally losing their minds.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we need to promote those studies and the use of it. I mean, we can be such benefit to wide groups of people. And it doesn't have to be a full analysis. And if people, want to then hire you to do an analysis, you're there for that. But you can be helpful without having to do a whole analysis.
Mm.
Well, and I'm thinking of like how your work, people have trouble like maybe talking about their feelings or even coming to talk about their feelings, but there
Yeah.
could be like just kind of an introductory journaling group that's really very casual, that's not like it's a bridge between the deeper therapy work, the deeper kind of emotional work that might be done, and just simply feeling better, you know,
Yeah. Mm.
like,
I think there's a lot of potential here. And I've been thank you, Judy, because
Yeah.
I have been thinking how I could start. I used to have a little group
mhm,
of people who were interested in graphology. Then we had COVID, all that finished. So I've been thinking, well, what can I do? Can I work with children, giving them a day of handwriting or something? But this, I think this is something that you could develop. And
Mhm.
as you said, you could put your own kind of slant on it, and do it in your own way, depending on the group that you've got, depending on the age group that you've got, for
Right.
instance.
Right.
Because around here, people are really interested in handwriting and, wanting to know about themselves and things. So um, if it's a really good way of getting someone to not only express their feelings, but for them to realize what's
Mhm.
going on with them. So, as you said, Victor, a good, a halfway house sort of thing
right, right.
between the deep therapy and maybe just an introduction, yeah, no, I think it's got a lot to say for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was so excited to hear, people using it or interest because it's so in the news now and it's so in vogue. And I mean, and it should be because journaling just has potential for everybody. And I know I'm working with young kids and I'm going to start, having them write. They're going to be 7 and 8 years old, but I'm going to have them start journaling, 2 sentences each time I see them.
That's great.
So it'll help me get to know them, also.
At
Because
that
one
age,
of,
too,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that they take pride in how their writing looks.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me, there's a kind of online community and app called journalparty.com
Yeah.
that I'm seeing uh it's it's like works with therapists for certain programs, and it's really just been developing, but it might be something that you could look at and
Yeah.
to
I
see.
attended twice
Yeah.
and they have therapists who help them put the questions together.
Yeah. And you saw it on, I think, on the YouTube, which is a promotion they
Mhm.
have, which they do every week. But the app itself, which you can
Oh,
get on, is journalparty.com. I put it on in the chat, journalparty.com. And they have like music, you can select music. They have different programs of journaling, and they have it's a whole another thing that I've been talking to the developer of the program, and um, I might be able to have some more information about how we might plug in as graphologists, because I've been kind of talking to him about uh, how I've been seeing about AHAF getting involved with.
Did you
okay.
say that was on YouTube?
Um, they have a YouTube channel, see,
Oh,
to promote it, but it's a website and an app. At the
oh,
website is journalparty.com.
So on
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time,
Mhm.
they're on live every week. And I attended twice because Victor told me about it. And
Mhm.
it's good, but you really don't get to interact with people. You get to enter your feelings in a chat, but they do all the talking and they do more talking than you want to hear,
I
after
I
a while. But the actual journaling questions are good, and just sitting there and journaling feels good. So that
Mm.
part is helpful. And I put a couple of handwriting comments into the chat for people to read because people were saying, "Oh, my handwriting is so messy," and
uh-huh.
other people were saying, "Oh, my handwriting is so neat. I like looking at it." It was interesting, and so I added to the chat comments, a tip from a handwriting analyst, messy handwriting is fine. If it's just for you and you're writing fast, it just means that your mind is faster than your hand, and that's fine. So, I wrote neat handwriting is fine too. It's very courteous for other people who want to read it, and it shows you care about other people's reading your thoughts. So I just made little comments like that. But
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, so they're promoting, and Alex it's about promoting pen to paper journaling,
Mhm.
which I find
It's very nice. Their questions were very good the times I attended.
yeah.
So they're elaborate questions. I forgot what they are, but they're fine. I mean, you would enjoy them. Um, but I didn't know about the website, so
Yeah,
now I have
it's an
to
app. Yeah.
look. Have you done anything with the website? Have you?
I've been looking at it and exploring it. They have a lot of different kind of programs, different so for the stress prompts or so you can, and they have challenges and like a 28-day journaling program, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of these ideas are can be they can be shared, and then it's even that you can have your own little party. You can be connecting with other people that are
Oh,
um
yeah, I think that's wonderful, Uh,
they have different kinds of music, say, that you can be listening to while you're doing your pen to paper journaling. So
yeah. I wrote down the music that they used and I tried it. I found it on Pandora and it was very pleasing, it was soothing. It wasn't intrusive.
mm, yeah.
So, yeah. But I think it would be fun if we all had little journaling groups going of any kind,
Yes.
Yes.
you know.
I could sure see that would be great in like an assisted living
Hmm.
situation
Mm.
Yes.
and
And they
and
say
fun.
it also in that kind of situation when they're sharing, when they're writing down their thoughts, it helps the caregiver understand the needs of the person they're caring for because a lot of times they don't know and they don't find out, what's on that person's mind or how they're feeling or how they're reacting or anything. And this is a way of communication to the caregivers they have.
Mhm.
Yes.
So the benefits are enormous.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a little bit of graphotherapy at a uh what do they call it? It kind of a assisted living place through I guess there was an event coordinator in Atlanta. It's been a long time. I was working with the music and the graphotherapy, and boy, the addition of the journaling is actually very powerful because you can take the music, see, and you can select music that really might be related to the period. We remember music when we were like our teenage years. We always so you select music that goes back to that period, and then you can stimulate memories, and then you can like encourage
Hmm.
writing a little bit about that memory, and it doesn't have to be a bunch of writing, but it all
Yeah.
interconnects, and then look at how much you can combine, and that's actually a very and just that little bit of effort that happens is making a difference in that person's I mean, it really does help them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it brings those neurons together.
Is there any regulation in terms of us as graphologists calling ourselves therapists?
No, you don't have to. You're just doing journaling.
Yes, June, yeah.
You can call yourself a
Um,
graphotherapist.
yeah.
Mm.
You,
And
it's
I
a
think we
matter
should
of
be doing more of that. You
Yeah.
know, we can incorporate that into journaling so easily.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and really give people more hand control.
Mhm.
Laurence wrote a book. Um, let me get the cover.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh,
Can you read it?
Handwrite, a simple guide to better handwriting for all ages. Oh, lovely.
wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
And she has all these exercises.
Yeah.
I put a link
Um,
in the chat if you want to.
Okay.
oh, okay. But just, I don't know, it's light, but just exercises we wouldn't normally think of, but that help teach the hands how to make the shapes that are going to go into letters and
Yeah.
in a way that loosens up the grip. You
Mhm.
know, it's really wonderful. It's on Amazon. But it, you know, we can do those things when we're around other people. We don't have to call it graphotherapy or anything. We
Yeah.
can just help them with the muscles in their hands, you
Mhm.
know, and have an easier writing flow.
Mhm.
Could you show us that book again? What is the title again? Hold Your Pen Right.
I put the link in the chat, Ruth.
Thank you.
Get
So.
Thank you.
Laurence was trained in France, and the exercises that she's learned are different than the ones we're taught in the United States.
mm,
So it's just, they're all good. You know, you can
mm,
just the idea of it, though. You can make up your own shapes. You can do whatever you want. It really isn't the shape that matters. It's the practice that matters. So, you know, you want roundness and you want straight lines. You just want that control in the hand.
mm, mm.
Do
Yeah.
you think that this that you pick up at Staples is doing any harm? It's $4.95 at Staples.
No. Why
And
would it do
I
harm?
hand this out to a lot of parents walking by.
Uh-huh.
I said, just
Wonderful.
Oh,
write on the refrigerator, get them a whiteboard so they can just do circles and things like that.
but
That's
what's inside? I
fantastic.
mean, well, can you show some of the pages? What
Pages.
kind of?
Let me
Oh
turn
no, we
this
can't
down.
see.
It gives all of the letters individually and words. Open to the
Yeah,
beginning.
the letters have to be it has to be explained the
The
direction, where to
direction.
begin and how to.
Yeah, where you start the letter, the point where
Yeah,
you put the pencil
yeah,
to the, because I'm finding kids are starting all their letters in different spots all the time. They're not automatic knowing, put my
yeah.
pencil here and
And
write.
also helping them to hold their pen correctly is very important. So usually it's not very often, too often it's not taught, and so they do things like they hold it like this or in
Yes.
Wow.
good ways, and
Yeah.
it's
I
important
think we
to.
have a major undertaking here, everyone,
I
because
do too.
ballots are so important. I stood up and spoke at a League of Women Voters the other day, and they are going to a high school and having kids register to vote. And I said, that's really nice. But they eliminated 15,000 ballots last fall because they got the student to go like this at the university, and it didn't match what they wrote on the
Mhm.
ballots. 15,000 votes were thrown out because they couldn't write. So we've got a
Every,
lot of work to do.
yeah,
Yes.
every state had thousands and thousands of votes denied
Mm.
because of signature. because they don't
Boy,
have a consistent signature.
Mm.
boy, I mean, those schools ought to be really focused on that.
Yeah.
It's
Ought to be.
amazing how many people cannot write correctly.
Mm.
And it's
Too bad,
adults
really.
now.
Yes.
Yeah,
The parents can't write. I mean, they can write, but not cursive.
Mm.
that's right.
This is the
Yeah.
generation that is now teaching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but I think giving out, I found, I think it was $5.99, a book, that had good arrows on it that showed how to write the letters in cursive. Some of the
Mm.
books don't have arrows.
Mhm.
And so I'm going to use the books that have arrows. And even if I don't like the way the letter is formed, I think if you tell kids, as long as it looks like a B, it's okay. You don't have to stick to a loop or no loop or however. You write it the way it looks good to you, but I have to know it's a B.
Mm.
And so then, we're not training them. There was a whole hullabaloo years back about training them to have to write it in this one formation, but we don't have to do that, even if the workbook has that in there. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But am I
It's
right
very
in
frustrating, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
it frustrates us as graphologists and also as teachers. I mean, I was trained to teach third graders how to cursive write. I mean, it was such a wonderful, fun thing to teach, and the children loved it. But they
Mm.
don't teach it anymore, and it's so
No.
frustrating.
Mm. But
It's so
they've
important.
started doing it again now, haven't they? Haven't they started
Yeah,
teaching children to write?
they're starting to bring it back. That Yep,
Yes.
and I'm
Yes. So that's a good thing.
finding out.
It's a hit and
Yes.
miss. It's a hit and miss because it
Oh,
actually depends on which school district they are in. It's up
right.
to the
That's right.
individual schools.
Is it?
Sometimes the state may mandate that they have certain curriculum, which
Yeah.
may include handwriting, but
Yeah.
ultimately it comes down to the individual schools. That's the
Right.
biggest opposition that I've had is that I would go and I would talk to legislatures and they go, well, yeah, but we can recommend it, but it all comes down to the individual schools.
Right.
And I
Yes.
mean, like, there's a difference between going to one state as opposed to going to 12,000 school districts
Yeah. Yeah.
within that state,
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
The teachers are not trained in teaching cursive
Right.
No.
like Jane was. Jane was taught how to teach, and she was given a
I'm
system.
going to go back to Seattle University and see if they still do that for
Mm.
their incoming educators.
Yeah.
Most colleges don't.
Jesuit. It was a Jesuit university,
Okay.
but in those days, all the universities were teaching it.
Mm.
Most
Yeah.
colleges don't teach handwriting. That's because when you get hired by a particular area, that school district is supposed to teach you or give you the teaching materials so that you would be able to teach within what we expect of all of our students in this particular school area. So they didn't teach it at the university level here in, like, University of Pennsylvania hasn't taught cursive since before the Second World War because it's all dependent on the individual school districts. So if the school district doesn't employ a penmanship program, then nobody has it.
Mm.
And that's been the biggest problem that we had in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Which, by the way, has just passed that they will not only require handwriting from kindergarten through the 5th grade, but that they will be requiring cursive from the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade in both practicum learning and in homework.
Oh,
Gosh,
brilliant.
good.
I'm really excited about, because
Yeah.
that's what they need to have a reason to practice it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder who was the promoter of that, Val? You?
Me and yeah,
Were you?
me and Missy, what's her last name?
Oh,
At
yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning, I'll sit up. You know who I'm talking about, Mitzi. She lives
Yeah,
out in
let's
the
see.
middle of the state, right near the Harrisburg area, where she worked with the cable TV for closed circuit state meetings. So they would do the cable shows for all of the conferences and committees and things like that for the state legislature. And Mitzi and I were working together. We actually sent a letter to each of the state representatives, not only touting that handwriting analysis is an abomination, that our children do not know how to write, they don't know how to sign their name, they will not have consistent signatures to vote, but here's all the empirical evidence. And we put all kinds of links. I had 3 pages of links to research that
Yeah.
says handwriting analysis is good for you.
Yeah.
So, and we sent
Good.
that out to all of our legislatures. And
Well, it
that
worked.
was, I think that actually did it. I think that actually worked, because they
Gosh,
all
That's
pretty
great.
much understood that not only were we, because we're handwriting analysts, no, because we're concerned citizens, and because this is your future voters.
Yeah.
So we were able to tie those things in that's important to the legislatures, but we also gave them the research. So all they had to do was click on a link and it would come up, and it was just amazing that finally they saw the point.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
That took a
Well
lot of
done.
work.
Yeah.
it did.
Well
Thank
done.
you, Val.
It did. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
now I'm in Georgia. I get to start all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Didn't Georgia pass the law also?
No, not yet. Florida just passed one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I thought Georgia did too. No?
Georgia was considering it, but it has not passed.
Mm.
And I feel that the law is simply lacking, because what they're doing is they're trying to get it into the classroom, but not required for practice.
Oh, for
Mm.
crying out loud.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
how it is in most places.
well, if you learn it, but you don't practice it, what good is it?
Mm.
You're not
So
going to use it.
Mm.
exactly.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
Val, did they get it back into the curriculum? Because the problem here, it's gone through the House, it needs to go through the Senate in Michigan, but they don't have teachers to teach it now. I mean,
well,
that's the
that's
problem.
the biggest issue.
Yeah.
And
They could
working
have a
on
summer school and get it going. It wouldn't
Yeah.
take long to get that going.
Right, right.
No, actually, when I worked with Iris Hatfield, when we were teaching teachers how to teach handwriting, it's a 3-hour course. 3
Yeah.
hours, you know,
3 hours.
and
Right.
it
Yeah.
teaches them pen grip. It
Yeah.
teaches them how
Yes.
to make corrective,
Mm.
issues for the people that like to use their fist. How do you
Right.
get them to use the pen correctly? How do you get them to write forms? And at what age of development this is? Because it's different for boys and girls. So, if you give them this, the boys might be able to do it, but they don't have that fine motor until they hit the 4th to 5th grade, where
Mm.
girls develop that fine motor like kindergarten.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it's quite a bit different, but
They're born writing and talking.
but at least educating the teachers that this is what you can expect. You can't rush the process. You can only foster it. Give them more writing to do, by making sure that, when my grandson was in the 3rd grade, he had a list of spelling words that he had to do in cursive.
That's right.
Yes.
It
Right.
was a list of words, not a sentence for each word, not
No.
a paragraph, not a homework list. It was just 20 words a week in cursive. Do you
Mm.
think he learned how to do it? No.
Mm.
He doesn't know how to string a sentence together in cursive because he was never made to do it. So there was no practice there for him. And when they no longer look over your shoulder, you go back to what you feel most comfortable with, which was the printing that you were taught in kindergarten.
Mm.
Hey, the journaling is so important. I
Yeah.
mean, teaching the handwriting and then it needs to be carried forward.
Sure. You know, even
Yeah,
when I do the
forming words.
Mhm.
even when I do the Constitution writers, I still get a lot of people that want me to hand them those strips that tell you how to
Right,
do
the alphabet.
right, right, to do the cursive alphabet.
Mm.
And it's not a matter of how you write. It's that, you know, okay, I don't know if you've heard of Constitution writers, but here in the United States, for the last 10 years, I've been doing Constitution writers. And these are people that will go into the library, and we will go to a lot of the college campuses or main library facilities, and we'll hold a Constitution writer session. And you know those composition notebooks with the black dots all over the front page? I'll get those, like when they have back to school specials, sometimes you can get them for a dime a piece. And I have no problem going up to the manager going, do you have a damaged case that I could buy? I'm not kidding. So I would go to the campuses and I'd have the binders for them. We would have the Constitution printout. And if you don't know, it's a 4-page typed document. Our Constitution is only 4 pages long. You can add the Bill of Rights, you can add all kinds of other things. I even have the Pledge of Allegiance for people that just want to dabble. But, you know, I came with my friend, keep me busy. Okay, well, you know, here's the Gettysburg Address. It's 2 sentences. So we give them the books, we give them the materials, and they're supposed to copy it in their own handwriting. Why? Because every legal department, every person that's going into political science, going into the law, going into, you know, becoming a legal transcriptionist, all of these people need to know the vernacular that's used in our Constitution. And the best way to remember all of the points of this 4-page document is to write it down.
Yes.
So that's what we do. We go to a lot of the colleges and we have a professor that's available in case you have any questions, you know, how does this interpret? But basically it's writing the Constitution, handwriting it, using that one journal, putting everything down. And then if you have questions, star it, whatever, and the professor's right here. Wait for him to be open, go sit with him. And but we do, you know, a lot of other things, the Bill of Rights, the amendments to the Constitution. So we have all kind of paperwork, but they come. And I haven't had a session lately that has been under 40 people. It seems to be a really big thing. All the professors promote it because handwriting helps to retain memory.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be working in this field, you need to know what you're talking about. So, but
Very good.
Yep.
Another application there, right there. You didn't know who you were doing it.
Right, right. I mean, it's not exactly free thought journaling,
Well,
you know.
it's an application of the journaling.
It's, yeah.
Free thought journaling is just another kind of journaling.
Right. Well, this is copying,
is
which is a little different,
Journal.
but
This is a commonplace journal. You're putting down a quote and you're
Right.
putting it in a place where you can remember it, but it's the process of doing it that you remember it.
right, exactly.
Isn't that what Judy just was explaining? The whole thing is about making those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. Memory
There
and
goes,
and
there
thought.
goes another 5,000 connections.
Yeah, call that journaling.
Yep. So,
It's
but yeah, look for those binders. Yeah, look for those binders and things that are on sale
Yeah.
at the back to school specials. And don't hesitate to ask the manager, do you have a case that was, damaged? Well, could
Yeah.
you? Because I'll buy the whole case if it's damaged. So he says, what do you want me to do? Have one of the stock boys kick it? I'm like, okay. If you can write it off as damage, I will be happy to take that sale price. So
That's a great idea, Val.
yeah,
That's a great project. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's just, called Constitution Writers. It was a bunch of people out of Chicago that realized most people that are voting don't understand the laws themselves. So they opened it up at the library, and then it started to become a real thing with anybody who was going to law school. So whether you were going as a legal assistant, legal aid, lawyer, or if you were just, somebody that might want to go into law someday, become a representative or whatever, so these were important things. And I have a whole list of papers that I take with me to hand out. We got the Pledge of Allegiance. I even have the Star Spangled Banner, the words to the song, all four, stanzas to it. So if there's something that you wanted to copy down, whether it was while you were waiting for your friend that's actually doing the Constitution and the amendments and the Bill of Rights, other than that, I have other things to entertain you. So handwriting is pen stroke on paper. We promote it. If you want to talk to me about it, I'll be happy to talk to you in quiet. But, here's my business card. So I hand it out.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of fun with it, but it's basically a really nice day. We get a lot of college students. We get a lot of interested folks that just want to learn more.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that you don't have to be like a teacher, you don't have to be a counselor, you don't have to have any title.
Right.
And it's very non-threatening.
Yep. Yep. And I, if you can have somebody there that has more authority as far as answering questions, that's great. If not, I just make a list of the questions and I hand them off to the professor and I say, here's the person and their email address.
Yeah.
If you can get back to them, that would be great. And a lot of times the college, especially if you're doing this at a college library, the colleges are real eager to get back to people who are not students. Come join us at the university, So it's something different.
Well, Judy, you've kind of this convinces me that with this journaling stuff, we should have 90-minute sessions because we're I think we need 90 minutes when we talk about the journaling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well, it's very thought-provoking.
yes.
It is.
So just know, I mean, this is something I kind of brought up with Judy, and we both were on the same page with it. It's not going to end right here. We're going to be continuing. I know Judy's got her vacation eventually or summer, but I'm committed to be like bringing up how we can be doing activities that can support us in developing some of these ideas about how to, and really practical ideas about I especially like about how we can apply this to building our graphology business or our whatever business it is, whatever practice it is that we're looking at earning money from or helping people through, whichever it is that motivates us.
You
Can I
know,
throw
I'm-
something out when we're doing that? I'm going to mention to you, I've showed this a couple of times. This is a new book that came out this week. I've been doing classes with Dr. Forbes Riley, and her whole theory is don't chase, attract. We can solve a lot of problems whether it be our kids learning to write, whether it finding you a new job. And there's one section in this book that is simply mindset. And in it, it lists all the things that people have that prevent them from getting a job, like fear of failure, perfectionism, analysis paralysis, fear of success. These are all handwriting characteristics. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put that out there.
And that is actually a journaling practice.
That's exactly what it is. She tells you to journal.
Yeah, for getting confidence, for getting focused,
write it down.
Your career, or on what you're wanting, what you're wanting to do, so there's a whole area.
So we could give workshops on that and then see in their handwriting where their fears are and instruct each person, in that area to help them be better at promoting themselves.
Well, she's crazy about the handwriting, and I wrote a recommendation for her today, and I said, what do you want to call your review? And I said, the power of the pitch and the pen.
Wow. That's good. So yeah, see, we have so much talent here so we'll continue this conversation.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Been great.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, stop recording.
Okay.
So much information. My gracious. Al, it's in the mail to you now.
Okay. Thank you.